Hi.
First of all, Joyce, you can talk all you like.
Let's just start with
that for us. Happy Monday, y'all.
Happy Monday, everybody.
I feel like everybody's had it's been a day.
Yeah.
Of a continuation of a week. And it's only Monday.
I had a great day yesterday, but I was doing all my, not all, I still have 3 more boxes to finish up, but when you're standing and bending over working on things for long periods of time, my back just gets all tight and achy. So today, now I'm feeling a little tender over here and over here on my 2 sides.
Yeah, my back hurts today for a number of reasons, but well, let me start with some good news. Let's start with some good news. This weekend, you remember the crazy dollar estate sale I went to?
The last end of the Victorian one?
Mm-hmm.
Like the very last, yes.
Well, like where I got my bed, and then the next weekend everything was $1. Yeah.
Yes.
So the people who ran that with the woman who passed away are continuing it. And they had their first regular estate sale last weekend, so that meant Saturday was $1 day. And so there will be a video coming out because I got some good deals.
Did you buy me anything?
Well, it was a different family who the stuff was from. So it was not, it was a different variety. Laura got some cool quilts for 50% off. We did go to the 50% off day, and I found a few things, some fancy ladies. And then I got some really random things on the dollar day. But my friend Laura, who y'all have either heard talk or you've seen bits of her in my videos, she is my, breakfast and shopping buddy on Sundays. She is a huge dog lover, and she has a massive Great Pyrenees named Morty. He's great. But he had to go to the vet for a biopsy this morning, worried about something being real bad. And she called me at 6:40 this morning, and her car died on the way to take Morty to the vet.
Oh my God.
My car is loaded with stuff.
Okay.
So Morty is a fantastic dog, unless you're wearing a dress and then he tries to flash your goods to other people, because it's just the nature of the size of this dog.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I got up in my pajamas. I took as much stuff out of my car as I could to make room for Morty and Laura. Went, picked him up, took him to the vet, and then got ready for work. And Laura used my car today. So, but preliminary news, it's probably not cancer. So y'all, cross your fingers.
Good. Yes.
Good vibes to the Mort for
the Mort
results.
Okay.
The Morty, he's fabulous. He's a good dog. But then it's Wednesday is the first day of classes. Y'all know I work at university, and so the madness has begun. Plus, if y'all are tied to higher ed news at all, there's things going on at my university that are literally insane.
Politics and things like that?
They're cutting programs and things and doing reduction in force to faculty and stuff to fight a deficit. The pandemic was hard on everybody, including institutions of higher learning. But we found out on Thursday that the department I graduated from and worked for like 11 years, they're discontinuing completely. So our university will not offer language programming, period, if they have their way.
Wow.
And for me, that's bonkers. I have more words, but YouTube safe is bonkers.
The YouTube safe word.
It's not official, but I mean, everybody and their brothers writing letters, signing petitions to try and do something. But it hurts, my heart a lot. But because y'all know me and my cultural obsessions.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
And those programs are what teach me to, research and dig into things and ask these weird kind of questions that led us to B&B. So.
Yes.
It's made its mark on the world. Anyway, come on, buds. Malcolm is here.
Hi, Malcolm.
That was my week. So, y'all, it's beverage time. So
I didn't get to ask you what alcohol you were putting in there.
It's pineapple wine from Aldi, vodka, juice, and frozen raspberries.
Pineapple wine. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's really sweet and not in any way fancy. It's a $4 wine.
What does it cost for a year there?
It's a really inexpensive institution to go to. Our out-of-state tuition was less than in-state tuition at a lot of our neighboring states. So we had a lot of out-of-state students, and still do, who come. I forget what it is. But yeah. It is pineapple. Right, Helen? We got to say hi to everybody. I'm sorry for unloading on y'all. It's been a day. And it helps me to share with y'all. And we're about to talk about pretty things to make me feel better, to make y'all feel better. I don't know if Tammy is back, but hi, Tammy. Joyce. Kathy.
Hi.
Chris. We're going real fast because, I was talking. Who else did we miss?
I know Leanne is here.
There's Laura.
Yes, and I saw Leanne.
And Mercy.
And Kara's here.
Kathy. Or I already said Kathy, didn't I? Oh, there's Leanne.
Yes, she is.
There's Helen. I'm just sending hugs to everybody because I need them.
Yeah. Hugs to all.
Christy.
And Christy's here. And the other Kathy.
Yeah, Morty's full name is Mortimer Chaim.
Mortimer Chaim.
All right, I think that's it. There's Karen and the other Kathy.
Hey, Karen.
Oh, Tammy's waiting for an appointment. Well, I hope we entertain you. So, did you have a good weekend? Well, you had a good weekend apart from the packing pains.
Right. Today my back hurts, but I was feeling really good yesterday. And I don't even know what I was doing on Saturday. Oh, I know what I was doing. I was having baby palooza.
Oh, and then Sunday I went to the bins for my second time ever.
Oh, really?
I have a friend who's not really a thrifter, but her daughter is 13, and she wanted to go. And she's like, I can't go by myself. She's like, I don't know what this involved with this. So she's like, will you meet us there? I was like, yeah, sure. So went to the bins. I found a few things. But it was largely just clothes at ours. There was not a lot of other things. Yeah, we wore gloves, and we were only there for about an hour, and then we were done.
Yeah.
But I found her. I wasn't looking for clothes because it's not my thing, but I was there. I was like, oh, this dress is cute. It was the J. Crew dress with its tag still on in my friend size.
Perfect.
Well, you want this? And then we were across 2 bins from each other, so I would throw it at her. It was fun.
Good.
But,
That sounds fun.
Not something I need to do a lot. It's not my scene.
Me either.
Yeah.
Me either. Maybe if I had, a buddy that made it fun, I might do it again. But it's not something
for me, I was holding up random things. I was like, "Oh, do you need this?" Stuff I knew people didn't need, but I found funny to have in the bins, So, well, let's get started. I don't know how long this is going to take. So my history highlight is more just an informational thing. I don't have any prices on anything because, antique photographs can run the gamut.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really what you want to pay and what you want to collect that, sets the bar for those. But we'll talk about that later. And it helps if I upload the things. Y'all.
Yeah, Kara says the bins scare her. For me, it's very like you're standing around too much. I can't take that. I like to be walking around aisles and looking. I don't like to be standing, waiting for them to move a tub and staring at my phone. I don't stare at my phone for half an hour. I don't like it. Hey, ciao.
Ciao, Bella. It's all right.
Karen said swimming goggles.
Those ones aren't that deep. You might break your neck if you dive in. No diving into the blue bins. I'm surprised they don't have signs that saying don't dive into the bins. At least ours doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't notice any when I went that one time.
And now watch. Somebody's going to do it.
Somebody might.
And we're telling you, don't do it. So don't blame us.
Yeah. It's one of those things that could become an idiotic, TikTok thing of, did you dive into your bins?
Yeah.
People trying to
say that she doesn't like grabbing poop. I feel there were a lot of people there, but everybody was just, keeping to themselves. Nobody was trying to grab things. Like if you were in front of one section, nobody was reaching over you.
Oh.
Maybe that's just a West Virginia thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we shall begin.
Let's begin. Yeah, look at these. These are some art pieces done by Alexandra Dillon. And her Instagram is Alexandra Dillon Artist.
I'm gonna look at it right
now. And yeah, she does these beautiful faces on obviously found objects. So a lot of paintbrushes, but some other things as well, like the locks. And I really loved what she did with the vintage metal shovel, where she used the curves to be a lace ruffle collar.
Yeah,
right there next to her picture there. I was enchanted with that because I thought that was just ingenious. So yeah, she does cats. She does lots of things.
Yeah, the cats really get me. But.
Yeah, but so not only is it enjoying an artist and their creativity, but it's also kind of a rustic reborn.
Mm-hmm.
We could try something like this on any of these found type of objects.
I like the fact that she painted paintbrushes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because usually they just get used and somebody forgets to rinse them and then they get thrown away.
Yes.
So painting them with intention, I like a lot.
Yes. And I do recommend, checking out her Instagram. There are other things that I didn't include that didn't fit on the page, but she had an interesting installation of where she was painting faces on shirts and they were kind of draped over a chair. And then she had a face painted on the chair as if it was a person. Very interesting, I'm not sure what exactly it was symbolizing, but she definitely loves working with portraits and faces.
Yeah, I was gonna do my latest K-drama for Medium Us, but it was eminently silly.
Oh.
I don't care though. I enjoyed watching it. So if you need silly, but it also made me cry. So there's that. But it's called Doom at Your Service. I'll let y'all Google that and decide if it's for you.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm going to be mysterious on that one. So this is my
God!
Just wait, y'all. Just wait. I literally saw Heather's slides 10 minutes ago. No, 20 minutes ago now. And you'll see why we're laughing here in 5 minutes. But I really liked this tablescape because for some reason I was wishing I was walking on the beach and I didn't want a tablescape that was, normal beachy colors. And I found this one and I was like, oh, that's so lovely. I love the coral plates. I love the red tablecloth. I love that. I think it's barnacles.
Yeah, the barnacles are awesome. Love
like
those.
you could fill those cavities with flowers or whatever. Like, I'd love a giant barnacle.
Yeah.
Conglomeration for my table. But I'm not going to linger on it too long because you need to see why we're laughing. Heather's tablescape choices.
That's just too weird. So yeah, I chose the
my
tablescape.
third tonight is a nod to your second one.
Yeah, I chose the tablescape with coral too. Well, and also the really cool
and berry shells
But yes, okay. So for my coral tablescape, I loved the looks like a flower pot where they did either tiny shells or pebbles. I couldn't quite tell if they were teeny shells or pebbles.
Kind of looks like pebble dash.
But very much in the style of, like a grotto. So I loved that. And then they obviously made a shell bouquet. You've got the silver shell. I'm guessing it's some
holder.
Wine bottle holder. So yeah, loved the centerpieces there combined with, of course, the tableware. And then I did wanted to also add the adorable folded napkin because it's just too cute not to share, and the kind of thing that could make your tablescape completely titillating. Just the perfect folded napkin on your regular plates could just be the perfect touch.
And that's a free addition. Like, you have the napkins.
Yeah.
There's so many napkin folds available for free online, tutorials, etc. And I really want that little personal lemon meringue pie.
I love lemon.
I love lemon too. Lemon meringue is like my favorite pie. But I have to make it myself if I want it, which is no fun. All right. Next segment. Oh, you're up next.
Okay. So very serene and comforting, but I chose this because of what looks to me. It could be different, but I'm assuming this is just really pretty vintage wallpaper put into the panel. And I love this idea. To me, having a beautiful old armoire of some kind. And in this case, instead of, I'm pretty sure it's wallpapering the entire panel, it looks like they wallpapered half, made a trim piece. So it's just that top section. And I find that inspiring, something I might not have done.
It kind of looks like that trim piece was part of it, because if you look further down, it looks like it's a third of the door.
Oh, maybe you're right. Okay. Or, well,
but it gives it like the illusion of a window.
Yes, exactly. So, and even if you didn't have a panel that had, moldings, you could do what I just said, make a section and then add a trim piece and create a little panel where you didn't have one before.
You know what I'm thinking needs wallpaper now?
What?
My storage cabinets next to my mantle.
Yes.
My built-ins, they have a little inset that would be perfect for wallpaper.
Yeah. And you don't have to do the whole thing. You could just do a little section if you wanted.
Now I'm getting ideas. I do love the bed cover a lot. It reminds me of saris.
Yes. Yes.
And then of course I'm a sucker for like the Belgian tapestry above the headboard because
Of course.
I've got 2 of those in my room.
I just found another one, Angela.
What's on it? Does it have a crescent moon?
No, it's a like provincial pastoral type setting of a girl and some a lamb, I think. I could bring that too. But it's a tall one.
Mine are 2 Venetian scenes. It's like Carnival. I love them. Anyway, so my inspiring interior is long because I'm in the Weird and Wonderful Finds on Facebook group. And a lady shared, I'll show you. So she shared a lighting fixture she found for the kitchen in this house. And I don't know if you can tell, but on the little coral door, there's an outline of the Cheshire Cat, and it says, "We're all mad here." And then on the outside chimney, of course, you can see the white rabbit. This house is a theme, and it's full of vintage and repurposed finds. And that theme is Alice in Wonderland, of course. Yes. So this is just I'm taking you in slowly. So this is the bathroom. You got your magic mushrooms, and this is the entryway here on the right, which just feels like they've taken like everything that has to do with Alice in Wonderland and just put it all on this table.
Yeah.
I like it. But it's cute. And this, by the way, is an Airbnb that you can rent in Oklahoma City. So this is the living room.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that chair.
I'm looking at the mantle.
I know. But wait. So you see the little doorknob? And so they made a door where the fireplace opening would be. And there's where is it? Oh, I thought there's a miniature version of that room in that door.
Oh my God.
Of, the shrink me, grow me.
Yes. How cool.
It's so cute. And I thought I included it, but apparently I didn't. That's okay. This is one of the bedrooms. Of course, it's the Queen of Hearts themed. I love the big cards like coming off. And then they even found flamingo curtains, which I couldn't find a good picture of them. It's just there on the corner. It's in Oklahoma City, Kara. And then this is the light picture they found secondhand. And
wow.
It's like very Chihuly inspired.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the mixed match chairs here.
Yes.
There's so much to see. Like I can find the Airbnb posting and send it to y'all. There's like 23 pictures. I was like, oh, I want to show this. But I love that they picked a theme for the whole house and they just went with it.
Yeah.
This, of course, is like the garden room, and we've done a few different handkerchiefs, but I love this as like bunting throughout the room.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you guys.
It's an easy way to add florals of all kinds.
I love it. I love that.
One of the things I loved is, I imagine these are broken cuckoo clocks that they painted.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just so graphic looking in one color. Yeah. I like it.
That's something I never would have thought of is the cuckoo clocks in like a monochromatic type application.
Me either. That's why I shared that picture. There's so much good to see. Oh, wait. So, anyway. That's it.
Wow.
I have nothing like earth-shattering to say about this except I just loved it. It made me so happy to look at these pictures. Yes.
I love it. I love it that they did like a whole conceptual thing for the bed and breakfast. I think that's great. Mm-hmm. It makes it a desirable destination.
Yeah, I think it's like top 5 for destinations in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
So, Joyce, you can paint it. It's broken. There are so many cuckoo clocks in the world. Unless it's one that's worth a lot of money. Just paint it. Usually I'm not against painting wood, but
right.
Usually the wood used in run-of-the-mill cuckoo clocks is not anything super special.
But if it's a Black Forest German cuckoo clock, don't paint it.
Yeah, don't do that. Mm-hmm. Research it a bit and then paint
it. Yeah.
So
I thought this was fun because it's a plate wall, but over a bathtub.
I like it.
And I thought it was fun. A little bit unexpected. I liked it too.
Haunted cuckoo clock. You paint
Yes.
it to look like haunted house since it's dead.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna be on the lookout for it. I give myself too many ideas. Anyway.
Yeah.
This lady has a lovely Instagram, My Traveling Boutique.
Wow.
And I just absolutely loved. These are all Fire King. One is Jadeite. The other is the Peach Luster.
Yes.
And, we always think of Tom and Jerry for holidays, that holiday punch. But I just love this green and peach. Mm-hmm. Very summery color combo.
It's, really nice. It's gorgeous together.
So pretty.
This makes me want to pick up some Peach Luster.
I was very tempted by Peach Luster Tom and Jerry set, very much like that, when I was with Sheila in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Kathy. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. All right, y'all. If you find a cheap cuckoo clock, let me know. Oh.
Okay. So I found this room where obviously you could consider this a collection. So they have several of these up on, the top of their wall. And so I looked these up. These are Moroccan spice racks, and the vintage ones can get a little pricey. This closer to blue hued one is one I found on eBay, and it was about $700. But still, I thought it was beautiful. And what I thought was, what a really interesting piece to put a collection in. So whether you wanted a lot of them or you just wanted one, I had this vision. What if you had a Moroccan spice shelf like this, and then you put in something like blue transferware, where you had like a marriage of East and West together? I think that could be such a pretty display.
I didn't know these existed, or I probably would have hunted one down already. This is my.
How good would this look right next to your wall right behind you?
Oh, I could replace these real cheap IKEA or white tiny things with these.
Mm-hmm.
All right, bucket list edition.
Okay.
Now I know. I didn't know they existed. Now I know.
They're beautiful. Yeah, and obviously different sizes and shapes, but they kind of have.
I love the corner one.
Yeah, the corner one I thought was really cool.
Because it looks like an inverted, colorful version of my lanthorn that I have in my bedroom.
Yes, and Joyce is saying they look like individual houses. I think like they kind of remind me of like when you're in the inside of an old theater and they have those individual
boxes.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what their name is in Arabic.
I don't know. And most of the list,
if it like translates as spice house, possibly.
Maybe. Yeah, most of the listings would say Moroccan shelf or Moroccan spice rack or Moroccan spice shelf.
Yeah. I'm going to have to do some linguistic searching later. But that was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that so much. What do those run? Like, what was the average price?
The blue one was $700. I know. But you might be able to find smaller ones because I think the blue one was bigger. So you might be able to find smaller ones for less. And you never know. You never know if you're gonna
you could go to the flea market. People don't know what they have, and you could get it for $1. You never know.
You never know.
Hear me, universe. Just saying. Okay. Types of antique photographs. We're going to start with the quiz. What is the oldest type of photograph? And
some sort of type. It ends in the word type.
So I thought it was daguerreotype.
Yeah, I figured it wouldn't be.
It's actually technically a type I've never heard of. So the earliest surviving photograph, which is titled "The View from the Window at Le Gras," was a heliograph created by French inventor Nicéphore Niepce using bitumen of Judea in 1826. Now, this man, Nicéphore, I don't know his name. I don't even touch on cyanotypes, Mary. I'm doing the 5 big ones. He partnered with Daguerre after he created this process, and they both worked together thinking they would, be able to go faster. But Daguerre created the daguerreotype, which caught on and was more economical and faster than this process. So bitumen of Judea is a type of naturally occurring asphalt. And he would put it in a camera obscura, and the heat from the reflected light would harden the, parts, the darker parts, at a faster rate than the other parts. So after a few days, I got you, Danny Grace. After a few days, the darker parts were much harder, and then they used a solvent to wash it and remove the stuff that was not as hardened. And then you got this negative of the image. But obviously not very user-friendly. Let me type this real quick before I get... Okay. But yeah, so it shows parts of the buildings, and somebody made a colorized version of the image, but the photograph itself is, I believe, in a museum in Texas. So it still exists. It shows parts of the buildings and the surrounding countryside of his estate, Le Gras, in Saint-Loup de Varennes, France, which is Saint Wolf of Varennes. I want to know about Saint Wolf now, but as seen from a high window. No problem, Dana. So let's talk about the daguerreotype. So the fun thing about learning about photographers of this era is they photograph themselves or had their friends do it. So here is Louis Daguerre in a daguerreotype. He, as I said, he worked with, I'm not going to say the guy's name without looking at it because I'll get it very wrong. But this image on the right is the oldest reliably dated daguerreotype that he photographed in 1837. And it was just a still life of plaster busts, I'm guessing in his studio. So let me see here. So the daguerreotype process, I found this really cool image, and I was like, I'll just show y'all what's involved in the daguerreotype. So first of all, the daguerreotype is imprinted on a piece of silver-plated copper that is polished until it's shiny and mirror-like. So in a dark room, they expose it to various chemicals, iodine, bromide, chlorine fumes, to make the plate sensitive to light. They put it into the camera obscura. The plate is inserted. A slide is removed so that the image reflects onto it. And then it is developed by vapors of mercury. I imagine photographers at this point in time did not live long.
Yeah.
And then it's bathed in hyposulfite of soda, removes the compound, and then the plate is coated with gold chloride to protect the image. Mounted on a sheet of glass, well, behind glass, with a border, usually brass, and placed into a frame or a protective folder because it was so fragile and easy to break and ruin. But I have seen daguerreotypes. They're usually well out of my price range because they are a lot easier to ruin. They're more expensive, but you can make them. You can find them, if people don't know what they have. So it's funny. There's somebody I'll talk about later was in England developing a similar process, and he applied for a patent trying to corner the market. Daguerre made the process free. He told everybody how to do it.
Oh.
And it's important to note what was happening at this point in time. So 1830 France, we're talking post-revolution. There's not a lot of love between France and England. So when he heard this Brit was like, well, I'm going to, charge people a patent fee to learn how to make their own pictures. Daguerre was like, nope, liberté, égalité, fraternité. You can take pictures all you want, as long as you can afford the process.
Yeah.
Right, Catherine? Hi, Susan. So, that's the daguerreotype. Following from the daguerreotype, the collodion process is born. And the first collodion process that became popular was the ambrotype. It's a positive photograph versus the negative, which is inverted, on glass, made by the wet plate collodion process, which I will talk about in the next slide. Like a print on paper, it's viewed by reflected light, like the daguerreotype, but they couldn't be reproduced. So if you think like a Polaroid, unless you have everything exactly the same and take more than one picture, you only have the one picture. Mm-hmm. Because there was no way to develop or copy it at this point in time. Dun, dun, dun. Then came the tintype, which quickly replaced the ambrotype in popularity, because it was cheaper to do, because it's known as a melanotype or a ferrotype, because ferro, iron, it was done on an iron plate, which was much cheaper and easier to get a hold of than what was used for the ambrotype and all the types before. Thin sheet of metal, they call it tin, again, as I said, iron was. And it's important to know the tintype, I put an asterisk that it went to the 70s. People are making tintypes well beyond that. And people make tintypes today. The most common thing, if you see those metal photos you can order online where they put, that's technically a tintype. Oh. But we now use aluminum. Aluminum did exist at this point in time, but it was extremely expensive because they were just figuring out how to distill it from, where it was in ores, etc. The process of the collodion printing was made by this gentleman, Frederick Scott Archer, of course. And this is a tintype. The tintype of the man who made the tintype process. I found this little tidbit because as I put the common sizes on here, I'm not really going to talk about it because most people know the general sizes of, but most tintypes are 2 inches by 3.5 inches. But there was one special tintype equipment it was 12 lenses, and it made a dozen tiny 3 1/4 by 1 inch. They called them gem portraits, which is probably what we find in lockets and those tiny frames, etc.
Wow.
It was developed in 1858. And so gem size was the smallest you could get for a tintype. But you could get a tintype up to 11 by 14 inches. From 1865 to 1910, the bon ton, that size of 2 3/4 inch by 3.5 inches, was the most popular, going up to 4. Michelle got her pumpkin.
Yay!
I'm excited. I was so worried. I was like, somebody's gonna like drop this in a vat of acid or something. Like, these are the things I think when I send out packages, but I try to pack even with those things in mind. But like I said, I love these tiny gem portraits. And you can see this is, I believe, in the Smithsonian, and this gentleman, but it took a dozen. All of these images were just from one sitting, one exposure.
I think that's really cool.
They're just arranged. Those 12 lenses are arranged in certain ways just to get very slightly different, views of the same face. And this person obviously used one and left the other.
Wow, how cool it would be to find a full sheet.
I know. But it's funny, like this looks like more than 12. This is 20. Yes, Joyce looks like a modern day photo booth.
Well, are they repeating? Are the 2 top rows identical to the 2 bottom rows?
It's possible. It's possible that, that some are cut off.
Yeah, so maybe they were more extending off.
Yeah. It does look like that edge is jagged. So it's maybe this was 2 exposures. So there used to be 24 and now there's only 19. But continuing on. So this is, again, I found this image. I thought it was fun. This is telling you how you can do a collodion print. And there are people who travel around and make tintypes today. And
ooh, I want to do it.
So, of course, talks about the elements involved. They're mixed together to create the photographic emulsion. You also have to make the developer and the fixer. These are not things you want, like you should wear a respirator. The emulsion is poured onto see, this one is aluminum. That's how you know that this is a modern interpretation of the process. The plate is then placed into a bath of silver nitrate to make it sensitive to light. It's put into the collodion camera. And if you ever see like collodion booth, this is why that type of photo was a collodion process. The plate is loaded. The exposure, of course, the brighter the light, the sharper the image will be. And you also have to hold very still for as long as, oh my God, how come?
Situation?
Yes. Okay. Hold that thought. 1 second.
Oh no. My guess is Malcolm decided to urinate on her chair.
On me.
Oh, no. Angela, I'm sorry. Oh, no. Malcolm's been having issues with peeing on things. He's older. I don't know if it's senility or what's causing the behavior, but he's been having these problems for a while. Poor Angela. So yeah, I would love to do this, although I hate working with chemicals. But I saw your comment, Catherine. I'm sure there are some artsy people who are doing this here, probably everywhere, really. It's so cool, though. I would love to do a portrait of some of my dolls. That would be fun. Or I could just maybe I'll just take some photos of them. and not try to do all this hubbub of business with all the chemicals. Hazmat suit. Yeah. Oh. I don't think it's to get attention. I'm not sure why he's doing it.
It is why that's why he's doing it. Like if
Really?
he comes up to me and he
Yes, Laura.
he pats me and I don't do what he wants me to do, he will usually go somewhere and pee on something while looking at me. And this has escalated.
I thought he was just peeing in like on the chairs and things. Like
no, it's escalated.
Oh.
He's 16.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were we?
Oh.
I'm not gonna say that. Never mind. Oh, wait. Go back.
Ooh,
okay.
cool portrait.
Oh yeah, wait. Yeah, so of course this all has to take place in a dark room where it is developed by putting the developer on the image, and then it has to go into a bath to fix the image. And this one, it says it's to coat the plate with fragrant lavender varnish, which I don't know. That's why I don't like. I really love these images, but I doubt they used scented varnish. Just
yeah.
Oh, anyway. Yeah, he did have a seizure a few months ago, so yeah, but this cat kept me alive during a very dark time in my life, so he has leeway. Let's pause in the types of photographs and talk about developing photos, which is where we get from, a single image to a reproducible image. And the calotype or Talbot type he called it a developing out process. Henry Fox Talbot. And remember when I mentioned the feud between the free daguerreotype? This gentleman here developed something around the same time and tried to patent it when Daguerre was like, nope, everybody can have it. But he kept tinkering and working, and he was the first one to develop onto paper what he called a latent image. Reduce the time necessary in a camera to only a few minutes for bright sunlight, whereas for tintypes, etc., you had to stay still for a few minutes. That's why we see so many images with blurs, both of this type and other type, because it's hard.
Oh, yeah.
To sit still. But he called it a calotype. And then you could which made the negative. And then he could, by simple contact printing, create a printed image from that original negative. Oh, I see. I understand, Chris. But it's funny because this image of him, so this is Henry Fox Talbot. It's a daguerreotype.
Oh. Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense if the daguerreotype caught on, probably because it was free and everyone would be able to figure out how to do it.
Yeah. So, well, and the other thing is this printing from a calotype, developing an image that way onto paper, the image wasn't as crisp. Like, here's 2 prints made from a calotype. Up in the left, that's actually Fox's sister, and I forget who this gentleman is. But if you compare them to the daguerreotype, like, that looks almost like a modern photograph, like in the details of the face. Whereas this, it's grainy. And that was just because of the process. Thanks, Laura. This cat. Anyway, the next important development is the albumen print, which I didn't know this term, but most of the photographs we know and think of antique photographs were developed using the albumen method, called the albumen silver print. Louis Desiré Blanchard Everard was the first to commercially, so it was a commercially exploitable, meaning you could, I like a pun, reproduce photographs many times over using this method. Now they were still using the collodion print, but by treating paper with, so albumen comes from eggs. It's that snotty part of the egg white.
Okay.
And it bound the photographic chemicals to the paper. And most albumen prints will have cracking, especially the larger ones. But it became the dominant form of positives, which is what they just called photos, because you had the collodion negative and then you made a positive, which is important to note that, like, daguerreotypes are like, think selfie. It's not, you'd have to flip it to actually get the true representation. And there were some camera obscura that were able to do that, but they were more expensive. Again, from 1855 to the start of the 20th century, most popular 1860s to 1890s. Which leads us to the carte de visite, which I do believe you talked about, didn't you, in the calling cards? Did you?
I didn't know.
Oh, well, these became popular at the same time as calling cards. They were thin paper glued onto thicker cardstock. Oh God, so I didn't take out all the centimeters. It's 2 3/8 inch by 3.5 inches, mounted on cards that were 2.5 by 4 inches, and they were dropped off in lieu of calling cards because they're like,
yeah,
this
okay.
This is who came to visit you. Often it would have the logo of the photographer, from which it came, and then, so because it acted as advertising. Sometimes it had instructions for effective posing. If you wanted to go, if you enjoyed this little photo, you could go get your own done, so you weren't one-upped by your visitor. No. And this is the gentleman, André Adolphe Eugène Desidéry, in 1854. But it was actually first done by Louis Dodereau before André patented it. there was a lot of feuds in the photography realm. Just like I kept going down. I was like, I can't take the drama right now. I just need some facts. So,
yeah. I remember feeling that way when I was trying to look up celluloid, like just all the patents and the discrepancies of who made what first and who actually discovered things.
Catherine, I can't remember if the 10 type is also reversed. I made a note and then I left my notes at the office. So if I remember, but bye, Karen.
Bye, Karen.
Oh, sorry. We're wrapping it up. There's only one more type after this, but which is the cabinet card. Also important to note, both the carte de visite, as I said, it's an album and print. Cabinet cards, also album and prints. So both of these, photo was taken on a collodion, negative was developed as a collodion, and then printed with the album and printing.
And
the biggest difference between the cabinet card and the carte de visite is the size and the thickness of the paper that the cabinet card was applied to.
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to ask me?
Oh, just I was noticing a lot of the paper sellers on Whatnot, they'll sell cabinet cards and they'll say CV, and that just means the carte de visite, correct? Do they just call it CV? I don't know.
I've never seen it called a CV.
Okay.
Well, I see CDV, which is
maybe that's what they call it. Oh, maybe it's CDV that they call it.
Yeah. But the size will give you the biggest and the thickness of the paper. Of course, other types, so albumin was slowly replaced by a variety of other processes, but the bulk of the time, it was an albumin printing process. And unlike carte de visites or any other photographs, which were started as portraiture, the cabinet cards were done as landscapes first. Places, buildings versus people. What is another fact? Oh, so I just included some pretty pictures, and I included this one because I learned a little fact. So the bride is here on the right, and at this point in time, wedding gowns were not white.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, if you decide not to have a white wedding dress, you're just hearkening back.
But the veil is white.
The veil is white.
That was like Queen Victoria. Her veil was white, right?
Oh, I think she was. Well, I think the veil in general was a Queen Victoria. Some other, these are two more images. The one on the left I included because Sojourner Truth, she actually had cabinet cards made and sold them to finance her travels and work. Which is, I find that fun.
Industrious. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And people, she was doing Comic-Con before it was a thing, selling images of herself to get around. And then this image, I feel like that poor kid just blinked at the wrong time, and now he is forever.
Oh, I see. Aw.
But that is just, there's so much I could do about photography, and I just these top 5 antique photo types. I really felt, we should just delve into a little bit more. So when you're flipping through and you find a photo like this and a photo like this, you can be like, oh, that's a CDV, that's a cabinet card.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, a 10 type, if you aren't sure, of course, it will be the daguerreotype will be very shiny. And the tin type, if you're confused, just break out that magnet. If it's pre-aluminum, it will be magnetic.
I have a question. Are there ever situations where you have the holder with the little brass border and everything, but what's inside of it is not a daguerreotype and it's a tin type, or that just never happened because they didn't have to protect it? Like, every time I find one of those pictures in the little frame, I call it a daguerreotype, but could I be wrong? Do you know what I mean?
Well, the daguerreotype would be, I think, very shiny. And they wanted to protect these all. So, sometimes, they spent a lot of money on these photographs. So I imagine, the photographers had this capability to put in things like that, and they just kept doing it. Because if you have the materials and it will protect it, why not?
Yeah.
I can't say for certain.
Right.
They won't. There will be, I'm sure, occasions where you have those kind of cases that it's not a daguerreotype.
Yeah.
But you have to look at. But if you hold a magnet up to it and it doesn't stick, it's definitely a daguerreotype.
Okay.
Because amber type, the coloring will be different and it won't be shiny like that, like a daguerreotype would be.
Good deal. Magnet. Got it. Thanks, Joyce.
So that's the
That was fun.
Quick version of antique photos. And then, cyanotype and all of those, like I said, there are more, but I just wanted to hit the highlights. And I really like the rabbit hole about, the developing too. So did you bring a favorite thing?
I did. I know we're over time. Do you want to do favorite things or save them?
Let's just do it.
I
will work on opening mine while you talk.
Okay. So I decided to show one of the dolls that I picked up at the estate sale that I was mentioning at my sale last night, where it was a feeding frenzy on all sorts of things, antiques, but including miniatures. And I was there for the dolls. I got there at like 5 a.m. specifically because I wanted this doll. I picked up her before I went for the miniatures. And I also picked up the hand stand. Those were the first two things that I grabbed. But I had never had this style of like half doll before. And I really like these kind because they're saucy, they're naughty. They have like little.
That's a very, very French court dress kind of look.
Exactly. Blushed nipples, you guys. Look at that. Mm-hmm. Saucy little minx. So she's got one of those kind of cage stands and just the really long flowing skirt there. But I had not had one of these. And so when I saw that they had one, this is what I got up early for. This lady.
So it's funny because we also seem to have a theme for our favorite thing.
Really?
Is Dear Angela still here? Because Dear Angela sent me a message on Instagram. She's like, I saw these on
Randy.
on an Instagram, and I feel like you would like them. She's like, but she doesn't have them listed yet. They're just a picture. And so I was like, ooh, okay.
Here, put your picture up.
Let me make myself big. So
yeah, make yourself big.
So it was a set of 3. These are mid-century, which is not usually my vibe. But okay, I'm almost there. There are 3, but I'll only open one, so we can. So there are these little shot glasses, They do not glow, even
Oh.
though they are green.
Oh, I thought they would.
I did too. So did she. But, oh my gosh, I didn't even notice. But as a fancy lady
Oh.
who holds the shot glass.
Oh, that's great.
But what I couldn't tell in the picture is look, it's a dragon.
Oh my gosh. That makes it doubly awesome. So you have a saucy minx and a dragon.
Well, the bow tie. It's got the bow tie.
Very cute.
I'm gonna have to find some shot recipes. And I have 3 of these, so y'all know I might have to be a fancy lady / dragon party.
There you go.
We shall see. All right. Let me bring you back up here.
Okay.
Thanks so much to everybody who listened to my woes and my history highlight and stuck with us during the unfortunate intermission.
Yes. We've survived our Monday. And hopefully the rest of the week is going to be good. And I do see that Lynn came in, and Lynn is having a marathon sale tomorrow. So make sure you I don't remember what time it starts. I don't know if it's noon or but Haylin Vintage, she's going to have a bunch of sellers. So it's going to be a long marathon all fall and Halloween, you guys. So you can go visit her and see all of the friends and goodies that are being sold tomorrow. Tomorrow's my baby's birthday. I need to call her. I'm gonna just sit and talk to her all day.
That sounds perfect. All right, everybody. If hop over to Mia, hop over to Jason, have them both open in a tab, do whatever. And we will see you next week on Heather Elizabeth's channel. Have a fantastic week, y'all. The week can improve for all of us. So be great. Be great and feel great.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We
love you. Bye.